All right, I wanted to speak briefly on the AAA of security. This is a topic that is discussed in business courses and all sorts of other courses because it's an overall idea of what we're trying to do with security, the AAA. In this particular screen, they say access control, authentication, and accounting, and we'll look at another name for access control in a minute. But let's start with what most people would consider the most boring and oftentimes the hardest, which is accounting. And that is really just keeping track of what's happening, who accessed that file, when did they access that file, why did they access the file. Being able to track what you have implemented as security and whether or not it's working, that's what accounting is all about. It's about accounting for what's occurring and what did occur. And it's a lot of looking at log files and trying to figure out what you should be tracking, because a lot of us just don't think like criminals. And so if you're not tracking the right thing, you may not see something that's happening at that point. Of course, authentication, that's just the process of verifying the identity of somebody. And that happens most often through a password and a user ID. Those are the most common methods today. But any way that you can show that somebody is who they say they are, that's authentication. Could be a physical key that they have. It could be a biometric device measuring a fingerprint, a facial scan, anything like that. And then they mention access control, and over here we talk about, I included this link, authentication versus authorization. So authorization is that act of granting an authenticated party permission to do something. And so that is access control, manages which individuals or accounts may interact with a specific resource. So here with authentication, you're typing in your password, you're getting a facial recognition that's authenticating you to the system. Then what are you authorized to access? What can you get in according to what your face said or what your password and user ID combination gave you? And so that's the AAA. And again, you are dealing with accounting, keeping track of what's going on, and then authentication, when somebody can say this is who I am, and I can prove that by what I have or what I know or what I do. And then authorization, what can I get access to now that I've actually authenticated? What do I have access to? Can I get to that file? Can I get into that room? That's the AAA. Everything funnels into those things. When you're doing backups and when you're monitoring a system to see if it was hacked or making sure it's not hacked, everything funnels into those areas, that AAA. They're in one of those areas. If you needed more information on that, let me know. It's a big area. I'm teaching that 251 class in the fall, and I'm switching that over to ethical hacking. And it's better if you've taken 250, which is networking, because that discusses all about how the networking stuff functions. But it's not necessarily absolutely, I shouldn't say actually, absolutely necessary. It just means you would have more difficulty and picking up on things because we don't go through the basics. But this is giving you some basics. So if you're interested in that course, that's 251 in the fall, ethical hacking, and it'll look at how hackers actually try to thwart our efforts to keep them out.